up here helping me. And I told him, "You are not helping my life." A little hoarse today, so the Richlife voice may seem to be a bit off. Oh, let me get volume down. No one's expecting me now. I didn't say when I would be on. That's because I kind of wanted to do it when I felt like it. Just saying. Okay, get down to live chat. There we go, and people should start filtering in here in a bit, as yonder notifications go out. Hello, Michigan lady. I'm sitting here with my lovely light, and I appreciate it very much. Chella, what are you getting into? By the way, the kittens, they are huge. They're about 5 months old, and Richella's over here in the dark getting into something. Electric costs have gone so much higher, so, I'm trying to cut a bit corners, so I'm not putting on the lights until I really need them. Hello, Nola. Hello, Ronna. Hello, Tara. But Rich has got to go tomorrow and plead guilty or not guilty. Now, well, Nola, well, you know what? You are right, Nola. For the people watching this later, I'm just going to kind of BS around for a minute or two and let people get in here, before I get into the meat of the subject. But you make a very good point, Nola. And I'm dying to address it, but I thought, well, yeah, they're on my other phone. I just got my notification. That's kind of what I was waiting for. My other phone to give me my notification about me, because now I know my notification's going out to everyone. Well, old timer, there are going to be people there, and everyone I'm sure is going to have a good time, and we'll find out pretty quick. Now, I might have a live about it tomorrow, depending on how interesting things get. And now, just between us, I expect Richlife to go live on DLive tonight. That's just my personal belief, because I have noticed in tense days before that Richlife, to kind of kill the dark hours. And I am going to try to watch it if he does. So that's why I was saying there may be a live about it tomorrow and there may be not. Because he will go in, he will plead tomorrow, and a date will be set. I wasn't sure exactly how they were going to do it in North Carolina, because each state has their own. But like here, that's how it would have been. In Ohio, that's how it would have been. And Monkey Boy had mentioned it, and that's how it's going to be in North Carolina. So Rich is going to have to go in and say, guilty or not guilty. Well, Nola, this goes back to slander in businesses. Now, I'm gathering thoughts for a minute. Actually, I'm just making sure I'm not forgetting a detail before I get into this. Well, Richlife went to visit Monkey Boy. They went out, they did their things. I'm not going to critique them, but, Richlife went away mad. Like I say, I'm being kind, so, we're not going to get into intimate details, because, of course, it would all shade Rich looking bad. So, for the sake of history, we're going to laugh at this. I mean, really, come on, I got to be serious. I mean, this is all just laughable. But Rich got mad. He went and made a 1-star review, and then on a live stream, he solicited people to give him bad reviews on his business. And he deleted it. And he lied about it. And I watched. I was a witness. I was there the day that watching on the stream when Rich solicited homeless people. Yeah, that's you know how him is. To give Monkey Boy a 1-star review. And of course, he deleted the 1-star review, He deleted all the lives, where he was soliciting people to go out and leave him bad reviews. Then he put on a 5-star review, claims he had a 5-star review from the very beginning, and that none of us all are talking about because, of course, none of us ever watched it. So that kind of sums it up. So, then Monkey Boy got fucking perturbed. And he went all the way to North Carolina and he lawed Richlife up. And the state accepted the case. So, where Richlife kept telling everyone that he was going to law them up, in this case, Richlife has got it all lawed up. And tomorrow is his grand day in court, where he looks before the judge and says, guilty or not guilty. Now, the grand crime can get him 2 months in jail. Before we make this sound too dramatic, his time, if he gets found absolutely positively guilty, is 60 days. Now, the goal really all along, I believe, is, Rich needs people to watch him, and him on probation could be the best thing. Yep, Linda, no lawyer judge. But, hi, Bama girl, but, this is his big thing, and because of, as you can see, I have been leaving him alone. Now, why have I been leaving him alone? Because, once again, I wanted to illustrate that I am not the problem. And at this point now, because I thought about that, consciously. It's like, I just hang out and see him not play well with others until the court date, and I won't even make a video about him. And there's been a couple of times I've wanted to run my mouth, but you know what? I thought, nope. Now, in reality, if this wasn't, his court date, this would have been a Playmate Tessie live. So you're probably going to see one of them very soon. And I'm going to have a Verily Veronica live this weekend, but I can't promise what day. It's got to fit into my life. Well, hear me, Rabbit, that is possible. Now, being Roger Brown and knowing how these small places work, Richlife has pissed off a lot of people in the system. So this really, my logic. Now, RSN believes it'll be blown off. And that could be called a conventional wisdom. But, has Richlife ever went through his life not pissing people off? They remember that. Yes, they do. I thought about, it's like here. People on the internet can call the police against me all they want and can claim I did whatever, they're never coming. But, I thought about it one day, and I thought, if you had 3 last names, they would come with everyone at those people because they want those people. And that would be the only way they would ever do anything like that here. Basically it's, oh, you want us to SWAT him and give us a good excuse to kick in their door and see everything they're doing and throw them in jail for whatever we make up? Cool. And I thought about that. And I'm like, if my last name was McCoy, they'd probably kick in my door. And I believe that Richlife has this kind of status in Whiteville, North Carolina, because everyone kept calling the cops on him, and the cops kept coming. They will... Now, see, in the 1990s here, every meth head swatted every other meth head as vengeance. And that's why that kind of stuff doesn't happen here. Really, we're like 15 years ahead of the curve. So, there actually has to be some probable cause to get someone. And like out here, if they actually decided to send someone, they'd send one guy because they don't want to provoke the natives. Now, if there was an officer in distress, they would send everyone. But, that's the only way that they're going to come in force here. Hello, Wildflower. Well, an inspirational nomad, this is not civil. The state picked it up as a cyber charge. Normally we would think that, but no, the state picked up the case. So this is not civil. This is criminal. Now, once again, this is misdemeanor criminal. It is not felonious criminal. But as I expect, he will be offered probation. But, Rich gets to pick. He gets to pick guilty. He gets to pick not guilty. He gets to pick probation or takes his chances. You pays your money and you takes your chances. Hi, honey coyotes. Well, I hate to tell him this, but, on the quick debunk, it's like, look, let's imitate for a minute, Judge Roger. I got to look right down at Richlife here. Richlife's looking at me. Man, no, I got claustrophobia. Do you not have a Class C 32-foot RV? Yes, Your Honor. Is that not an enclosed area, soldier? And of course, Richlife would not know how to answer. And that judge would get mad. And if you at that point might just hit you up on a contempt of court charge for attempting a fraud upon the court. All depending on the judge, I've seen a wide range of judges. One of the things I didn't, not done in story time, I usually was the person that would be taking other gang members down to their court dates because I had no criminal record and all the rest of them were too goddamn afraid of the place. So, like I said, I've sat there many times and I basically, my job, I just sit there and wait and see if he's going to jail or not. And now, personally, this is one of the things that I fucking hated is having to go back to their mothers and say, he's in jail. That was one of my distasteful chores of my past life, is going to people's mommies and saying, yes, because they're wondering where their son is, and he's not there. But yes, that is one of those old chores that I used to hate. Hi, oopsies. Well, an inspirational nomad. No. I hate to tell you this. It is kind of humorous for me, but see, small town courts fund small town courts and small town jails. They're not interested in fair, they're interested in revenue. Out of my 2 false arrests, it probably cost me about $450 or a little more, maybe $550, somewhere in that range. And I was completely innocent and exonerated of all charges, yet all of the fees they got me for along the way to get to the point of everything being thrown out, they probably got me for about $450 to $550. This isn't about justice. The court, you have a main goal. You have your job. The court is to make more court so they can get more fees, so they can get bigger raises, and the cycle can, it keeps on going. That's why they want people on probation, because it endlessly gives you a ton of little fees that come out of your buttocks. And that's how the small system works. Hi, Mandy. But that's typically how your smaller southern court system works. Hello, Flower Power. Well, Flower Power, that could happen, we're talking about fairness and reality, I never was in a court case that was not fixed in my favor. I mean, in all but one of the times I knew it going in. And in the last time, by the time I got to the car and added 2 and 2, yeah, thinking about it. In a place that normally will set you up, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the world, it used to, like my first therapist, that reality in itself used to bend her the hell out of shape because she had this insane idea of a fair system, of justice, of black and white. I mean, and I smile at those people, and I wish we lived in that world, but we do not. No, we do not. Well, Richlife is basically accused of a misdemeanor cyber charge because of his online bullying for leaving bad reviews against Monkey Boy, which normally would have been a civil case, as some people would have thought, but the state picked it up. And that's Roger's clue. The state wants him. You know how Richlife always said, I want the Johnston, and everyone else wanted his Johnston. They want his Johnston. They want it right in his grip. The grip of justice. In justice's icy hand. But he gets him, boo. Now, once again, if found guilty, he could do 60 days. And Roger has heard all of the Richlife rants, which is why I've not made a video about it. I was saving them for the day before live. At times he said he would just do the 60 days, which in reality, he can. I mean, seriously. What does he do anyway? I mean, he sits on a bed. He eats. And he flaps his lips. I mean, he can do that for 60 days in jail. Or he could also take a probation if a worse comes to worse. He does have that option. Hello, Debbie. Well, Debbie, there's a lot of us did, As I mentioned earlier in the live, I'm a witness to him doing it. And then I'm a witness to him covering it up. If I went to North Carolina, they could actually put me on the stand and me tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me Guar. Well, hello. Summer's come to see me. Now, it's nice. I only see Summer about once or twice a day now. Now, unfortunately, we're getting interrupted because when Summer gets her outside in the spring, as I said, I only see her for a few minutes a day. And she comes in here and she does exactly what's going on now. I mean, she must get her love. Hi, Summer. You want to display? But yes, in this time, sometime in the evening, because she smells like outside too, she just jumped in the window, ran into the room to hop up on me, and we do this once every night. And then she comes sees me once early in the day, and this is our nightly ritual. So unfortunately are live. You know, if you need to get a drink or something, or if you have to use the bathroom, great time, you know, because, or if you want to pop out and see if anyone else is more interesting than me, because Summer has decided to visit us. What you doing, Jeremy? Oh. What you doing, Jeremy? Ow, claws, honey. Claw. Ow, okay, there we go. We got it out of the flesh. Hello, Joseph. Hello, Lunar. Ah, I got cat hair in my nose. Well, yes, she is, and she's quite lovely. And her little boy took her body size. So he has a tail. He's got the same markings as her on the face. And, I mean, he looks so much like her in about the same body size. And he is so sweet. You know, but I'm going to try to digress out of cats and back to subject now that Summer's gotten up. She's on the edge of the bed looking around. I expect she's looking what she's looking for, Richella. You know, despite the fact that she is her baby, she hates Richella. I mean, and I keep telling, like yesterday, she's laying on my leg. And I told her yesterday, you brought her into this world, she's your baby. But she's so jealous of her right now, she absolutely positively hates Richella's guts. So, you know, it is what it is, and my cat has issues. You know, first to admit, you know, there's things that I could actually be made fun of, and this is one of them. Summer has issues. She won't eat with the other cats. She hates them. I have to put her food in a special place for her, or she won't eat. And she has done this since she was a little tiny kitten. She does not want to eat with him. Uh-oh. Yep. Remember what I said? Here it is. Now, see, this is... now, you know what? We're having drama. We're having drama at my house. We got mother and daughter competing for Roger. Now, you better go away because there's going to be a cat fight on top of me. And I can tell Richella just ate because she feels like she's a round ball. Got more cat hair in my nose. Well, unfortunately, you know, the grimdark reality, I'm going to have to get rid of Richella's grandfather. Now, normally, like the old feral that used to be around here, he was fine with my animals, but Richella's grandfather has started to attack the other cats here. And I have debated half the day on what to do about it. And I've tried to drive him off and he won't go, so, you know, and unfortunately, Richella's grandfather and I are no longer going to be friends. Well, we never were friends to begin with because he's a wild feral. But yes, him and Abaddon got in a fight last night. And Abaddon's got a bite. And that's what I did half the earlier today was, you know, tend to my kitty. He's okay. He's fine. But, you know, that violent feral, he just has to go. And that's my current drama. Hello, Dina. So, you know, we have our own cat drama here. And everything mostly has been damn peaceful. Now, on Roger's part, Roger did fuck up this last week, you know, but we always don't get what we want. I mean, seriously. Now, you see, early in the spring here, everyone comes fishes at my place. And I have been waiting for fishermen to come for a week. I'm like, I don't feel like making that walk. And there had been fishermen here every other to every third day. And this week that I actually counted on one to come, they didn't. So I've got like 26 bucks in my pocket, and I've had like 3 meals in 7 or 8 days. Now, in the morning, a man comes and will take me to Dollar General. I will get my meds, and I will come home and I will make myself a big meal. And that's what I'm going to be doing while Richlife is actually in front of the judge. So yeah, and that's kind of why I mention all this, because yes, at 9 a.m. is Rich's court date. And he will have to be telling the judge guilty or not guilty. And I will be getting about 80 pounds of cat food, me about 6 bags of grocery, about 12 2-liters of whatever soda they have. And then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to smoke a giant bowl. I'm going to have some potato chips with some dip. I'm going to plan a lovely meal. I'm thinking manwich. That's what I'm thinking. Personally right now, I'm leaning towards the manwich. Although I did get a good idea, because I'm looking at ways to make the dollar go further. So I was thinking, get a can of tamales and just a can of red sauce. And then rice. And then make it into a tamale rice with a red sauce over it. And then a little sprinkling of shredded cheddar on top. Not too much, because once again, I'm trying to look for ways to make good meals. So, that's the other thing that I was thinking. Because, I've been thinking about what can I get at the dollar store and make something that's actually good to eat. Well, I hope that everyone's well, Lunar. I really do. Now, Flower, in reality, it wouldn't be a bad idea if he was 5150. And the only reason why I say that is because I would really like for him to have an evaluation. I'm not going to prejudice it. At that point, I'm just putting that out there. That I personally would like him to have a full evaluation. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to make a light of it in any way. But yes, I really personally think, because I'm trying to be in this more serious. And God, really, with Rich, it's so hard to take him seriously. And one of my ego states wants to teach Rich to sing. Remember how I said in some of my other videos, I always have these 6 opinions? And occasionally I'll have one of these voices in the back of my head just want something stupid, like teaching Rich to sing. And that's the devil ego state. And I know you're going to look at me funny with that one, because he does social things, and he also does professionalism. Without my devil ego state, I wouldn't be able to bring this to you in a professional manner. Of course, the magus presents it. The rattlesnake makes the jokes. And if there's any emotion that's actually needed, the nurse is involved. And the feral just really doesn't care about any of you at all. I mean, just absolutely seriously. It's thinking about the tamales tomorrow. That, the feral is sitting there, it's like, that tamale dish might actually be better than what you were thinking with Sloppy Joe's. After all, you have it all the time. But, that's what the feral does. It's more of a basic thing. It helps keep me grounded. And the knight doing strategy, he only cares in what order I do it all in. I've got everything all set up, and all I have to do is wait for a call and someone to drive down the driveway in the morning. So, the knight has done his job, and we're all good here. Now, I am going to put out a couple silly videos. Now, See, I am actually going to do something on purpose. Remember how I always said that there is actual reasons that you could criticize me for? You know, I'm going to do a few videos about some of them. I mean, people like Shannon just want to name call, and that's where I go back to the ego states. None of my ego states care about names. Boo-hoo. Ugly bag lady makes words. Where we go with my feral ego state, a lot of times it's like fluffy blah blah, fluffy blah 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 fluffy. Well, Ace, Haley, she went on to get her master's degree in psychology. Then she did her intern work, and now she is a therapist. And her business that, I helped advise her on has taken off. They are just about to get a brand new facility. And the last I saw, she was looking at wedding dresses for an upcoming wedding. And that is your Haley update. Yep, and that was the one that you were thinking of. The lovely and beautiful Haley. So yes, she's now a businesswoman. She has a master's degree. She is a therapist. And she is about to become married. And that is it. But you see, once again, unlike Richlife and all of them, I don't have to make everything about my life into content. I don't have to make everything in everyone else's life about content. But, you asked, and you deserved a good answer. And that is the story of Haley up to this moment. And that's what she did from the time that, our association ended up to now. Well, that's what Shannon doesn't understand, Ace. It's entertainment for most people. She thinks most people take her seriously. I mean, she's seriously demented. She's obviously off her bipolar meds. And I only link the stuff on the community tab because it shows her new people what a nutburger she really is. Now, a stop clock can be right twice a day. Now, Richlife, I'm thinking, if he was a stop clock, maybe once a day. But, I have to laugh my head off. I mean, like the drama cows, they are so manipulatable. It's pathetic. And I don't care what's said about me. The worse that's said about me, the better. Because then a person comes at me with a delusion that I can quickly rectify, and then I usually get a friend. And in reality, one day Shannon's channel is just going to go poof. I mean, her channel's nothing but a living terms of service violation. I won't do it because she's mentally ill. It's like when Milton John threatens to kill me. I don't come here and make a video about it because Milton John is seriously sick and mentally ill, and it would not be right for me to try to drama grow my channel off someone's severe mental illness. Now, where you draw the line of /monster, that's where I draw the line. Now, oh my God, Ace, thank you. You have made the most excellent segue. Now, this is where I want to talk about for love notes for TLC. She is severely sick. I mean, where we talk about 5150, her, it's a 99.1. But her problem is she is actually dangerous. And at this point of being actually dangerous, I will, even if you're mentally ill, put a spotlight right on you. And unfortunately, that's what I'm going to have to do with her. because where we talk about my ego state stimulation, my Magus ego state was interested to learn what made her tick. And I sat down and binged. And with my other ego state's doing an appraisal. And she is a monster. Oh yeah, man. It's tomorrow, 9 a.m. And he gets guilty or not guilty, and then he gets a court date. Now, in between then and the court date, they will offer him a deal. Milton John, okay. Reaper, okay. You're new to the Boyd? Yes, this is his name. And this is his channel name. And subscribe. I mean, seriously, subscribe! I mean, you IP2 guys, you will absolutely, positively love Milton John. I am not shitting you. You will have fun. You will have entertainment. You will get a huge amount of shits and giggles. Now, with my ego states, I'm a fixer, kind of person. Because once again, we got these 5 ego states that are protecting one. So, overall, I'm a protector. I would like to fix Milton John. Just like I would have liked to have fixed Tessie if I found her not irredeemable. Which is why we're going to have a Tessie live and I'm going to talk all about it. I would rather fix someone than destroy them. Now, Richlife, he can't play well with others. And neither could Elvis. And when you fire artillery at me, I tend to fire back. Oh yes, Reaper, you will enjoy it. And put it this way, I'm trying to think of friendly things to say, but since I'm trying to be extra fair on this live, we won't get into my normal flippancy because I could tell you stories. Now, I will tell you right now, Reaper, you better address him as Lady Milton John. Hi, Noodles, or hi, Waffles. I'm sorry, Freudian slip. I'm trying not to laugh typing this in, but yes, Reaper, when you go in his chat, you remember, address as Lady Milton John or you will be blocked. Just saying, you are my friend. I want that to give you that tip going in before, you just get yourself blocked. Hope you're well, Waffles. But, the Boyd is an interesting place, and in reality, at some point, the Boyd and IP2 will merge. I'm those kind of guys that see around the corner, and that's one reason why Coachisms put Tessie in her program, or in our program, or his. I mean, I missed that sentence up. It's like, okay, Roger, step back, recombobulate your thoughts, and let's try again. I had a human moment. Well, I'm looking around. Evidently, Summer and Richella both went off mad. I mean, I've had jealous kitty fights here all the time, and where I talked about Summer not liking the other cats, Richella is not liking most of the other cats either. It's going to make my house interesting. Well, Ace, really, it's easy mode. When I actually started doing YouTube, I thought this was going to be hard. I thought I'd have to take a long time for in-depth analysis. But it's so humanly simple. Anyone that can step back with any logical skills can be relevant. Oh yeah, he's guilty as fuck, Waffles. Richlife is guilty, I saw it all happen. Debbie saw it all happen. There's several other people that are regulars in the Boyd that in reality, if they pulled us into court, we could testify. I saw Richlife say he put on a 1-star review. I saw him solicit homeless people to do it. I saw him solicit other people to do it. I saw him delete where he did all of that. I saw him put on a 5-star review and claim that that 5-star review was there all the time. And yes, Brock, it is a misdemeanor with up to 60 days in jail as the maximum penalty. Hello, Wendy. But you know, that's basically where old Rich is sitting. And tomorrow he just gives his plea. And then typically, because it's a public pretender, the prosecutor will give a deal to the public defender. And then in between tomorrow's plea date and the court date, Richlife will be handed an offer. And it's up to Richlife what he does. Richlife can take the offer, or he could go over here behind bar door number 2 and possibly face 60 days in jail. The judge could offer him this alternate gift of a certain probation, which he could refuse for the bar door for the right for 60 days. I mean, Rich gets a Monty Hall moment, which of course, you know, I might make some kind of silly parody out of between now and then. You know, I'm not going to dwell on it over heavy, but this is what he's going to get. And Stubborn Rich, in one live I witnessed, said, "I'll do the 60 days in jail before I do probation." Now, whether he will or not, but by his own admission, that is on the table. So, you know, I present you, you know, the quick, Richlife, let's make a deal. And that's what he's going to have to deal with. And shall he not make said deal, he goes to trial. And they don't like him anyway. And do you think they could find 12 people in Whiteville that he has not pissed off? Or one of their friends or someone that they know? Just putting that out there. So, you know, that basically, you know, I really, at this point, I've laid everything out relevant. You know, anything else from this rest of this point on live is just bullshit. You know, those are our relevant points. Those are the whats, the whittens, the wheres, and the wherefores. And as I say, I'm trying to be extra nice. And knowing how Rich is on stressful days, I expect him to be D-Live sometime or another. And I'll see what he has to say. I won't say anything, and I will keep an objective mind about it. Now, if it's too ridiculous, I do have to make funny puns. And as you noticed, this live, I have refrained from the funny puns. Because this will be a similar, as Waffle says, you know, this shit don't disappear. So I am basically laying it all out here. So once again, nothing ever disappears. So if anyone picks this up in the future or comes into this late 2 years from now, they will be able to look at this and they have a short synopsis of what's involved in some of the comments of those here. Maybe Wendy, I don't know, you know. This is his judgment. And we all know what we would do. But Richlife, well, actually, you know what? Maybe we're not done yet. This actually segues back into my mental health, where we talked about distinct ego states. I have 6, Rich has 3. He has his core ego state, which is the small child, the one that actually thinks you're jealous of me, the one that actually thinks I achieved fast food so I am somebody, the one that listened to all those lies that the adults told him and believed them. That is Richlife's core ego state. You saw that a lot with Rosie. I noticed that when he went out with Rosie, he shut up. You notice how calm he'd sit there in the chair? Or how he'd respond to Rosie? That was his core ego state. That's how he used to respond to his father. Now, he has the arrogant child one too as one of his pretenders for that feeds his ego. That's the one that actually, thinks he can flaunt fast food and anyone really cares. Or he's got something. That nah 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 rich. That's one of his protectors. That's to protect his own feels from the sad reality. Now, his other ego state is the bully. And that's the one that tries to intimidate you to get what he wants. That's the one that would sit and badger his father for hours until his mother would say, "You killed my husband, you sex-crazed bummer!" And I can get away with those jokes because that is the fact. That is the record. Waffles, I see you. Hello. And hi, Cass. But, when I'm doing a presentation, I have to keep my place. Is, when I'm doing a presentation, I will miss some chats. I won't catch everyone, but out of the corner of my eye, my ferrule can see if there's any spam or anything that needs to hit that says show. Because, like I say, I have one severely damaged ego state, and it developed 5 around them that, are the excellent individual that you have come to know. And I am hyper capable of certain things. But, we won't get into certain things because this isn't about me. Now, just to let my friends here know, I may do a live to where I am the most arrogant creature in the universe. Why? Because I'm just taunting Shannon. I mean, it'll be like one of them days where I haven't got anything to do, and the rattlesnake ego state sitting here and thinking, he's like, how could I amuse myself? And then it'll think, I know, I can be an ass. So yes, I may do that at some point, and like I say, I'm going to do some videos, where you can seriously criticize me. I've got one already shot for Love Notes of TLC, where I tell you one of the most horrible story times that you could imagine about Roger. Now, because Waffles is my friend, and I want him to laugh. You remember all the times in life where you make the dead hooker jokes? This is the one time in my life where Roger almost had that horrible thing that we joke about happen. And like I say, but I was able to use it in a story time as a part of a video to explain something about Love Notes for TLC. Because, this chick is a fucking monster. She's a crazy monster. She needs a 99.1, not a 5150. She's dangerous to herself, she's dangerous to others, and I believe she's dangerous to everyone around her. To the severe. And my first layman's diagnosis, it's like, what doesn't she have is a mental disorder? The only one I could rule out was one. Other than that, I think she has them all. I can't, that's my opinion, and that's just an initial opinion. I will refine that opinion as we go on. But, evil. We don't run across evil, actual evil, much on YouTube. That's one. Ace. Now, I will tell you another Roger story time. My father tested jet engines for General Electric. My father was the last guy to touch the damn things. He put jet engines together from all of its constituent parts, fueled them up, tested them, fired and throttled them up, and went through all of their tests. And when it was done, then they would take the engines apart, they would drain them of fuel, and they would prepare them, ship them, and box them off, then to be reassembled, put on airplanes, and fly. And that was my father's job at General Electric in Evendale, Ohio. I called my father a fucking idiot. We used to have a cheater box in Ohio. You know, as I said, my father was a naughty person, and we were stealing all the cable. And it had a special reset if it was to click off, and he could not fix that cheater box and had to call me every time that cheater box had to be filled. So that is a long way of saying I have never had airline food because I said I am never getting on a plane because there is a human chance that my father is the one that tested its engines. True story, too. I mean, really. I've never flown for that reason and that reason alone. I've stayed from North to South America, and if I've had to go a border, I've snuck across it. But yes, that's with me and airline food. And thank you for letting me make the silly joke out of my father. Take care, Debbie. But now apparently my dad did his job well. I still wasn't going to trust it. But yes, apparently my dad did the job well. And I learned a lot. And things I shouldn't have learned. Now, another interesting thing is, you see, the fuel they put in those engines aren't exactly what they use for the airliners. You see, the airliners have an anticoagulant so fuel won't freeze, and it's very expensive. So when they test the engines, they don't use that. And then when it's drained off, as I mentioned, General Electric would put that in a giant tank. And then at 5 a.m. in the morning, on rare occasions, someone would go over and kick a spigot. And then all of that jet fuel would go into the Mill Creek, near where I lived. Once again, it's the world we live in. So, my father used to also remember I talked about my father being a naughty person? Yes, he also used to dump illegal things into a creek for his employer. I mean, wacky corporations. Now, I do have to say, there was one ego state that wanted to set the creek on fire. Why? Because I could, and it would look really cool. But I refrained from doing such. But you could look at the creek and tell when you could set it on fire or not. This same creek at 15 years old, I would go across towns on bus to meet girls and do naughty things. And I'd have to get up really, really early on the weekends to do this. And I used to walk past that creek, and it could be any color of the rainbow. I have seen neon purple, I have seen neon orange, and I've seen a slight neon green. But that's as far as it ever went in the neon colors. I'm not joking either. I mean, this was the 1980s. I mean, the Mill Creek, the last I heard, was still considered the third most polluted body of water on Earth. And that used to be a block and a half from my house. Hello, Jesse. Now, things have been better. Now, this is where, I am kind of environmental in my own way. Now, I have seen things improve. This creek no longer runs funny colors. Nope. It looks like water. I mean, wow. And my friends from Ohio said things live in it now. And I went, Yeah, I mean, that was a shocker for me. Things live in it now. Now, what keeps it, quote, so polluted was 200 years of industry has got heavy metals all through its sediment, and that's what keeps it a polluted creek. But it doesn't run funny colors no more, and things live in it, and me even saying it just sounds so fucking weird to me. Well, Stacy, that was Cincinnati. That was the other side of the state. So, it was a similar situation, between Cleveland and Cincinnati. And here we have Richella Natty. Says, Richella, I don't know what no natty is. Richella was born in a box in the living room. I had two boxes left in the living room that kind of had odds and ends in it. And Summer crawled in them and had kittens. Richella was born in a box in the living room. And this makes Shannon mad. And I know why. Because all of her screaming, her kitties won't get near her. Her kitties won't get near her. Her kitties don't get near her. Because all they see her as is the thing that feeds and screams. You see, the cat that I grew up with as a teenager, that's what it saw my mother as. The thing that feeds and the thing that screams. Well, I'm glad, Waffles. Some feral kitties are cool. That one I mentioned earlier that I'm going to have to drive off is not one of them. But there are actually 2 or 3 feral males out there that are really cool. I mean, they are. And one of them started to run in the house, and I'm trying to get him not to. Let's just put it that way. Because he has his own ideas about doing things rather than me. Hello, Nomad. Well, Ace, I've learned how to deal with him like cats. What a mother does, in the situation where a mother doesn't want a kitten doing something, she takes their hand and puts the paw down on them. So, that's all I do. In the normal situation, where some humans would actually swing at a kitty, I just put my hand on them, and hold them down like this, like they're a recalcitrant little kitten. And that way they get the idea that, mommy's telling them not to do that. That's no. And that's a normal thing to do to dissuade a kitty. And that works better than anything that humans do. And Richella, now I'm going to show you. Richella, get up. Get up. You don't want to get along? You're not going to do this? I mean, we do this every time. She don't want to, I'm not going to make her. Okay. We'll just do it on a different live. I guess she's sleepy and wants to do the curl up. But normally I can make her get all big and long. Well, Stacy, I don't go around here acting like Richlife, but nature loves me. I mean, of my entire life, ever since I've been a small child. We can make arguments on why, but my whole life, all of nature has been my friend. Oh, they do that here, Waffles, and that. Fortunately, when I was looking down at Richella, when she was cutting her teeth, her adult teeth, that's all she did was chew on everything. Fortunately, she stopped. Now, I have to admit that, my old cat that I had, Tiger, in the ages ago, I'm trying to think about when he passed on. I guess he passed on in 2011. That cat was the hardest head creature that ever lived. And where Ace, you talked about the being scared of the paper towel roll. Yeah, I had to resort to the paper towel roll with him. And it's the only cat that reason never worked. But you know, there's that exception to all rules. Well, Ace here, because of all the numbers of cats, they've kind of developed their own little society. You know, most of the time, the better part of them are outside, and usually only a few are in. And real soon, all of them go out, period. And these young ones like Richella, I've been acclimating them to outside. And like today, I did 2 hours with them outside on the deck before I brought them in. Now, the biggest of the three, he learned the secret way I've set they can go in and out. And that's all he wants to do. He don't even want to be in the house no more. Yeah, my paper towel arms that take... Well, see, I'm used shooting this and you don't actually see me as I am because of YouTube. Now, I don't go on stuff, but I have a thyroid condition. I am ogre-sized, you know. I'm not a small guy. You know, I am about 1.5 inches under 6 foot, and I am absolutely positively physically intimidating. You know, I am wide. You know, I can be deathly skinny with a 36-inch waist. You know, I'm an ogre. But, you know, where I laugh at her stupidity. Well, I don't even listen to it, actually, her stupidity. Because the reality of the matter is, she's too ashamed to show her face on the live and has to hide behind a picture. You know, that's always my trump. No matter what. Catfish Callisto and Shannon, who like to say bad things about everyone's appearance, are too ashamed to show themselves on their lives. I don't care. This is my work shirt. You know, living here alone and doing all my hand laundry, when I'm working, I'm wearing the same shirt. And I put it on just to annoy her. So she'll make herself look, ow. Can we not grab my nipple? Just saying. Hey, Richella, this is not an 18 or plus live. I don't know what just got into Richella, but she decided to clamp onto me like I was mommy. Are you on drugs? If I had a computer, I would clip that as a cat blooper. Now, I want you to explain to chat what you just did and why you did, and apologize. Apologize to the nice people. Kids do the darndest things. Now, I wish Stewie was here to have clipped that one. I mean, that would have been a good Stewie clip. I mean, hell, I'm going to make fun of me in the future for that one. My cat has issues. Oh, man. Well, you know, I was looking in the backyard and, you know, if we're talking about eating, I have an unlimited supply of wild onions. Yep, right now in the backyard, I have enough wild scallions for everyone. So, I'm going to get me some dressing tomorrow, and I'm going to start enjoying a little bit of spring's bounty. Well, kitties do the darndest things. And now Chelsea's going to sleep. She was having a baby moment, you know. She's got it in her head that I'm mommy. Because her and her mother doesn't like each other anymore. So she's basically transferred all of those feelings onto me. And now, I'm trying not to laugh at myself. This is a Roger keeping it together moment. But I am going to do a Playmate Tessie parody. Now, it's going to be funny as hell for the people that know it. Because she has Molly, her cat, which looks a lot like Richella. So I'm going to dress up as Verily Veronica. And I'm going to shoot a Tessie parody video. Where, you know, I'm going to be Tessie and Richella's going to be Molly. But it's going to be like 30 some years in the future. You know, like 20, 50 something. And it should end up pretty funny. Waffles, I do not have any canned chicken. Now, I have 1 can of canned tuna. And I save that for in case I have to get a kitty, and I have to get a kitty now. But yes, I have that, and in the house, I have about nothing else. I mean, this place, the cupboards right now are barren. But in the morning, I get to go to the Dollar General where I'll get several pounds of meat and a bunch of other things to try to make into interesting meals. Now, Sundrop sucks. Now, let's be completely honest. Sundrop sucks. And it's 99 cents a 2-liter. Now, we're going to hear doing Southern logic. Now, RC is also Southern. And it also is 99 cents a 2-liter. And here in these little stores, you can't get this at Walmart. I mean, you can't. I mean, Walmart don't carry it. Because people would buy it. They have Cherry RC for 99 cents. And where RC Cola actually makes kind of just an okay generic, it turns out Cherry RC makes a superior cherry cola if you like a sweet cola than any other of them on the market. So, Roger refuses to buy the loser Sundrop. Roger buys the Cherry RC from the Indians. They don't carry it at Dollar General either. You know, these little southern stores is the only place where you can get this jewel. And it's the same price as Sundrop. And around here, no one buys the Sundrop. The Sundrop ends up going to the pantry. And then the pantry gives you Sundrop. And that is how I know what Sundrop tastes like. It's better than dying, but that's about it. Well, yes, Stacy, it's mainly just a southern thing, and you know some distributors will have it, and that's why I was mentioning about the Cherry RC. You know, because if you go to a lot of places that are going to carry RC, some of these little stores, not the big businesses, are going to have that jewel of the Cherry RC. Which, as I admit, is excellent. And I thought about walking that 7 miles for a backpack full of it today. But I'm lazy. And I've been lazy about walking to get stuff all week. And I've mostly done without. Now, another thing is, over the winter, I had gained 10 pounds that I do not need. And when I was thinking about it, it's like, remember that where we talk about these ego states? You know, one's like, you know you do got that 10 pounds you're going to have to take off. And it's like that. And then another one comes up. It's like, well, you could fast a few days. And then that rattlesnake ego state says, I don't want to make that walk anyway. And then the night says, well, a lot of people has been coming fishing. So, you know, you can probably get a ride down there at some point. And it's like, and not a person has showed up all week. So, it was my fault. I have money in my pocket. It's my fault I went the better part of the week without. And tomorrow, I will make grub. And now I'm stuck in between making manwich, making that tamale rice dish I was talking about, and then there's that rattlesnake ego state that says, just give me 2 hamburgers and be done with it. Because your typical gangland diet in Cincinnati is 2 cheeseburgers and a 2-liter of Coke. Most of your gang members in the universe survive off 2 cheeseburgers a day and a 2-liter of Coke. And that will hit you at right about 2,000 calories. The 1-2 cheeseburger meal a day and all of the useless soda is basically your gangland fuel. That's what you run off of. And there's a long, say September, October, and November, that was my diet. I had 2 cheeseburgers a day and a 2-liter of Coke. And you can live fine off of it. I don't recommend it, but you can. Well, Waffles, this new chick I was talking about, Love Notes for TLC, she's a homeless woman who goes around accusing men of rape if she can't blackmail them. No doubt. That last part's my opinion. Because, I have had that attempted on me. And that's why I told you that, when I upload that video, it's going to be kind of Roger's almost dead hooker story time. And I am going to have to put that video at 18 plus. Yes, I am. Because it contains severely mature subject matter. Another interesting fact, my parents weaned me on Pepsi. So, my first addiction as a kid was caffeine. And I was an avid Pepsi drinker until I became a caster. And the Pepsi and all that heat started making me sick. And at that point, I switched to Coke. Well, Mandy, I have wrote a book, a fantasy one. And the rest I'll leave as interesting stories here and there. And as you notice that when I give a story, they don't change. If you ask me to give the story in 6 months, it'll be the same story. And I tried to make a family and have a good laugh, but, the attempts at family didn't work out because the women always had an insane amount of baggage. And I've got to the point with my own mental health, I can't do it no more. And I tried to settle down from 28 to 52. It didn't work. It is what it is. So, I'm back to my old life of, I don't want a relationship. Nope. And if something's nice, I might just hit it or not. But it will know up front that this is not anything serious. Or will ever be. Because I am not doing the relationship thing anymore. Nope. Karen, the last one, done. Finished. Remember where we talk about ego states? The knight is always the one that takes the hard stand. He takes all hard stands. He is the one that says no. No. Never again. Because we have hit the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Yeah, and Waffles did that, and Richlife did. The old Anna. Now, for those that you saw Anna, this Love Notes for TLC, she makes Anna look like the most stable, reasonable, homeless woman that ever was. In my opinion. I'm interested in what everyone else thinks about that because, as I admit, I think she's dangerous. And that's why, despite the fact that she's insane, we'll put it nicely, I think she needs a spotlight because she's dangerous. Now, this is Shannon. If Shannon could convince me she was dangerous, I'd do tons of videos about her. But she showed me she's Melton John crazy. In fact, Melton John is much more reasonable human being than Shannon. And he can keep himself together much more than Shannon. You could talk to Melton John on a reasonable subject. No one can do that with Shannon, so, in reality, if she didn't have a family to take care of her, Shannon would need a 5150 herself. Now, Stacy, I will be telling some stories now and then on some other channels because, I am a good writer. I really am. Well, I learned things that are interesting. If something draws me like a moth to the flame interesting, then 9 times out of 10, it's going to everyone else too. Because, we're really severely on a like mind on many things. I may have my uniqueness, but I'm still a human being. I have a commonality with everyone. It's just usually I can tell something first. But I feel sorry for her. Now, she uses sex as a weapon. Give a little extra here. And I make jokes about this. I have to put my hand in my face just for a second. Everyone will have to bear with me. It's just an idiosyncrasy. And the reason is because, one of my first videos I saw of her, she was a professional cuddler. Now, I did not know of these things. Now, she was offering professional cuddles for $80 an hour. And I made a very racy joke on my next vid about her that I said I'm going to have this 18 plus because sex costs $25 here. And she wants $80 cuddles? I can get 3 women and still have $5 for the same cost of her cuddle. And one thing I understand too. Now, for the boy here, I'm going to drop this for a second. Why in the fuck is Elvis going to Mexico? Because in reality, I could set him up with enough 25 piece of ass, his dick would fall off. And always could. One of my old buddies, he used to bring his conquest to my place all the time. For score time. And I never would avail myself of the prostitutes. Though I do have to say this one that he brought. And she was $20. And there was that one part of, for like 3.2 seconds, like that. But I got better, and I didn't. But, she was absolutely so, she was, we're talking about the lovely Desiree, she was lovely Desiree caliber, and you don't run across them, but our $25 ones are still better than their $80 cuddlers. And I wasn't going to make a vid on it yet, but Elvis is back on his, he had made one vid begging for money in Mexico. I didn't want to give it any attention, but, since we were at the bullshit part of our program where we're just kind of bullshitting, yes, Elvis wanted money, and no doubt because he wanted tail. And tail is cheaper in Kentucky probably right now than Mexico. I'm guessing. But, it is $25 here. And I guess Joni might not know the people. But, around here, I don't know. Like I say, I don't know why Joni couldn't have set old Elvis up with all the $25 tail he could take. My only guess is just doesn't run in that circle, which is a good thing. Oh yeah, Stacy. I found the channel and I got it marked, and it's nothing of worth. It's just your typical Elvis, and it's the only video on his channel, and it's the first one of Elvis in Mexico trying to get money so he can get tails and tacos. No doubt. Which is why I've had this long $25 tail rant. I don't know. I don't know if they're not. I don't keep up on, that kind of thing. But, I'm just pointing out that, at any point, that could have happened. And he could monger quite well in Kentucky. And once again, I don't tell another secret why. Now, I will let you in on another secret about me, a medical one. If you go back through those last vids and I tell you about my bad birth, now, my birth, was actually useful to the universe. Because after they fixed me and I managed to live, that went into textbooks. That went into medical science. I had to have my last surgery in 2006. And I got to have the experience of going up to a table, pulling down my pants, whipping my thingy out, and throwing it onto the cold metal table for an entire room of doctors. And the two to the left were goddamn cute. And I'm having to sit there the entire time thinking, don't get an erection, don't get an erection, don't get an erection. Because the both of them were, talking back and forth and whispering about my pee-pee in their ears. And, Roger sitting there with his dick out in front of a dozen people, thinking, don't get an erection, don't get an erection, don't get an erection. And once again, those are one of those moments in life that you can actually make fun of me for. Where we get the old truth stranger than fiction. Because one of these days, one of those doctors might have to cut on my ass. So they were seeing what happened, from the 1968 surgeries. So yes, and because of that, I'm not quite as I should be. We'll just say that. Because of all the cutting and the scarring, it has had its effect. And some of its effect is, like, Waffles, when you have a girl, you feel something different than what I do. Because I don't have the complete feeling that I'm supposed to have. So once again, it's always odd to me that, Richlife and all these people try to put, even my last girlfriend, try to put sexual desires upon me I don't have. Because, as I mentioned, it's not quite a big deal for me as it is for everyone else. Now, an interesting factor, because of that lack of feeling here and there, it gives me complete control that everybody else don't get. Now, where I told you is that I don't get quite the same feeling you do, but there's no way, because of all the scar tissue that's up in me, that you get the control that I do. So, I have the wonderful thing for the ladies is I can do things on demand. And I can hold off until they tell me to. And once again, where we want to talk bad on Roger, this carried a couple of my relationships quite far. Because, after a few months, they basically ended up based on sex, rather than we really liked each other. But, that's an interesting thing about me. And I didn't, I've never sat down and made videos about it or like Richlife want to talk about my pee-pee all the time. But that's why I always have just found it's just so stupid, people trying to put their motivations onto me. It's like trying to say, I know this cat wants to make a moon rocket. No, you want to make a moon rocket. The cat wants to go to sleep in my lap. But, those are like the realities of my life. Now, another reality of my life, because of all the surgeries, I've got a lot of scar tissue. There's times that it actually feels like, somebody's got a hold of me in an unhappy manner. It is what it is, but I've always had to live with it. And from your point of view, sometimes I have groin pain. Sometimes I can have considerable groin pain. But when I do, I don't come on YouTube and talking about it. But, Richlife is going to get in, he's going to tell us his 75 words. Well, Waffle, see, now, on the side point, what we just all talked about, I can actually, any woman that falsely accuses me stands zero chance in court. Because I have enough unique features that, unless you've seen it, you don't know. So, that is how it is. They don't even know what color it is. It's pretty, too. If you actually think of it as just a shade in itself, it is kind of pretty colored. The girls like it. Now, where we talk about, laughing at self, when I was a young man and got my first, you always had that fear, of, because after all my surgeries, as a young teenage boy at 15 and losing my virginity, you were worried about that stuff. And I quickly learned it was nothing to worry about. Let's just put it that way. And it's about 10 o'clock. We've been on here 2 hours, so this will make kind of, decent for replay. The end, I've made a bunch of fun of me. And that's why, what I understand about Shannon, I can make fun of myself. And make it funny for everyone else. And all she can do is call names. I feel sorry for her husband. But I know why he doesn't care that she's on the internet most of the time. Now, everyone, have a good day. Well, let it go. We're just ending. You're going to have to come back and watch it from the beginning because we are about ending. Now, it may take 2 or 3 minutes for you to find it because I've got it set to where everything is listed to private, and then I go back, edit, and put it on public. So if you can't find this live, it will be back up in a few minutes. Yes, let it go. It stormed here, and as usual, all of the bad parts, because of our geographical features, went around me, and I had just a hard rain. I've got a full bucket, and before I go, let it go, get her Roger update. That's what I've been doing all day. I've been it rained, so I've been doing all of the stuff like water, like dishes. I've got some clothes soaking and that kind of stuff. There you go, Waffles. Well, Waffles, the reason why I didn't go ahead really, just between you and I, since this is the end, and since I've said goodbye, no one's going to watch, I expect to get my other channel back. And of course, you have a wrench there. So, until then, I can grow this one here. But yes, I do expect to get my other channel back. Because everyone else was too. So, it is what it is. And, well, I've been doing a lot of work around here, but, unlike a lot of these YouTubers, I don't, you guys don't see 90% of everything in my life. And the little things I do around here every day. Like my joke video today, you saw me laying back. I got up early and worked around the place. I was whipped. That was me kicked back for a couple minutes. And it's 10 o'clock now and p.m. and Richlife sees or his appointment's at 9 and they'll call him in the H's and well, everyone else is getting it back and I didn't, and just between me and you the Boit troll, the wonderful trolling troll. I started having a few seizures because people were so nice to me and my hand was trembling. So for a few days, I couldn't do the appeal. And then I got a smile on my face. I'm like, you know what? Why don't you wait for a couple weeks to put that appeal in and see if everyone's getting their channels back, and they are? And then you'll get your channel back, and then you can do the big troll on them all. And that's what I'm doing. And in fact, I'll probably file my appeal tomorrow. Now, everyone, have a good night, and I will see you really soon. And you may have a live tomorrow night, or you may have a live Saturday night. I'm going to kind of juggle it around everyone else because, those of us here that are creators, we know how it is. You try to step on as little toes as possible. Now, everybody, have a good night.